So if you have not been in class with me lately, you may not know this. You could know it by looking at me, but I am about 16 weeks pregnant. So there's nothing that I have in the practice that I'm not able to do. So it won't, cause any issue for our practice or anything like that. But I did just want to let you know. So um, you're going to go ahead and just find your seat. So maybe sit up on the edge of a bolster, catch hold of an extra blanket. And our practice tonight, I'm calling it Synchronize. And the focus is going to be a strong emphasis toward the body breath connection. So the physical body is referred to as Anamaya Kosha, and the energetic body is called the Pranamaya Kosha. And beneath the Pranamaya Kosha, we have what's referred to as Manomaya, the sheath of the mind and the emotions, Vijnanamaya, the sheath of the intellect or wisdom, Anandamaya, the bliss body, and then we have the unchanging eternal self, the soul. And so the doorway in to these deeper layers to me always feels like it lies with the breath. And as we synchronize the movement of the breath to the body's movements, we ultimately end up creating greater stillness in the mind. So all of the thoughts and the emotions, which can feel quite intense and strong at times, start to settle and start to become a little more quiet. And so we're left with this feeling of spaciousness. And it's in that space that we start to tap in to more of that sense of knowing that exists within you. To me, it's always when we think about those deeper layers, it's the breath and the breath body connection that really feels like it opens the door or opens the gate to accessing the spaciousness and the wisdom and that sense of inner knowing, right? So we'll do some simple movements in our practice tonight so that we can have that strong awareness and emphasis on breath body connection. So just sit tall and let your hands come down and just allow your eyes to softly close. And you can connect into like just feeling your physical body. Noticing the earth beneath your body, the torso extending upwards. So there's just this feeling of length up through your spine. Release and relax your shoulders down your back so that the sides of your neck feel open. You can feel the rhythm of the breath circulating throughout your body. Taking just a few more rounds of breath here. As we go into these final cycles of breath here, begin to emphasize just a bit more length and depth in both parts of the breath, inhale and exhale. Allowing your eyes to softly reopen. We're going to start with some what I call chi pulses. So you're going to bring your hands in front of your rib area, around the belly button. You're going to turn your palms up to face toward the sky. And as you're breathing in, you're going to just slightly draw your hands upward, almost like with your hands, you were directing the breath up. So you feel the breath expand across your chest. You might feel a little more length through your spine. As you exhale, turn your palms down, and then with a bit of resistance, press your palms toward the earth. And then turn your palms up and breathe in. Let your hands rise up. So the inhale is more uplifting and energizing. And as you exhale, with a bit of resistance, press down as though you're pressing the energy down toward the earth. So grounding and rooting. Breathe in, turn the palms up and lift up. Exhale, turn the palms down, and with just a bit of resistance, press the palms down toward the low belly, front hips. One final time. Breathe in, flip your palms up and rise up, side bodies long. Feel the expansion across your chest, and exhale as you turn your palms down and press your palms down toward the floor. So you're going to breathe in. Let your arms begin to sweep out to the sides, reaching all the way up by the sides of your face. Now, as you're exhaling, you're going to let your elbows begin to soften. So your hands are going to cross behind the back of your head. Then you're going to draw your elbows apart so you open the chest into cactus. Okay, but we're going to keep going. So you're going to reach out through the elbows. You're going to press up through the heels of your hands as though you're touching the sides of the earth. And then you're going to start to draw your arms toward one another. And your fingerprints can come toward one another in front of your heart as you draw your shoulder blades apart. Now let your hands move apart a little bit and breathe in. Let your arms reach up by your ears. Exhale, let your elbows bend. Cross the hands behind the head. Take your arms into cactus arms and then press out through the heels of your hands. Nice breath in as you stretch out through your inner elbows. Exhale, let your arms come forward. Let your fingerprints come together and feel your shoulder blades draw apart. One more time. So let your hands come apart. Breathe in. Rise up with your arms. Exhale, crossing the hands behind the back of the head, taking that cactus arms position, and then letting your breath in. Continue the extension of the arms out. Press out through the heels of your hands. Exhale, take your fingerprints together in front of your heart, shoulder blades draw apart. So let your hands come apart again. Breathe in, stretch your arms up by your ears. Bring your prayer hands together over the crown of the head and almost envision this line of energy coming down through the crown of the head. On your next exhale, let your prayer hands slowly come down in to your heart space. Let's release the hands. We're going to make the transition now to all fours. We're going to place the strap at the back short side of the mat when you're transitioning if it's not already there. You're just going to come to tabletop, move anything extra out of your way. And then as you come to all fours, we're just going to do a couple rounds of slow cat cow. So keep the focus synchronized, right, in the back of your mind. So breathe in, Feel your breath, initiate your body's movements into the cow tilt. Release your belly, lift up through your heart. As you're exhaling, press into your hands, take your tailbone under, arc and round through your back body. Inhale, feel your pelvis start to tip forward. Release the engagement of the abdominal muscles as your belly tips down when your heart lifts up. Exhale, press into your hands and feel your tailbone tuck under, belly button draw in, shoulder blades draw apart, chin comes in. One more time. Breathe in, let your belly release, lifting up through the heart. Exhale, pressing into your hands, taking your tailbone under, arcing and rounding through your spine. And then inhale, cow tilt, right? So release your belly. Now, this time we're going to transition to downward facing dog. So activate the balls of your feet, draw your low front ribs in and your belly button in, and use that to support the rise of your knees up to the sky. Now, arriving here in downward dog, we're taking about 45 seconds to a minute to walk out through the feet and the legs. I always like to offer the wide stance variation here. So when people find that's a little gentler on the wrist, elbows, shoulders. You might also bend your knees both at the same time to get a little more rotation of the pelvis forward. So there's a Sanskrit word, it's lila, which means play or like a game, right? So we can think of our practice somewhat like play and exploration. Just moving through the body, feeling the various contractions and elongations of the different muscle groups. Nice, full breath in and full breath out. All right, we're walking the hands back. So be mindful as you cross over the blanket support, right? So slightly easier transition than walking the feet forward. Now, as you inhale, slide your hands up on your shins, right below your knees. Bend your knees just a bit so you can feel your shins kind of press into your hands and reach the crown of your head forward. Slide your hands up your legs till your hands come to the hip crest. Bend your knees even more. Press into your feet and rise up. Coming into Tadasana Mountain. You can stretch your arms down by your legs. Okay, we're going to catch hold of the yoga strap. Here's where we're going to do some work in the shoulder area. So just use your strap or your scarf or your belt, whatever you got. And we're going to do some cactus arms here with the strap. So you're going to take your hands maybe a little wider than a foot, right? And just have your arms down in front of your legs. And so feel free to go a little wider with your feet if you want. Wider stance gives the sense of greater stability. So just take a nice big breath in and stretch your arms up into extended mountain position. So root down through your feet, stretch your arms nice and long. And as you exhale, you're going to bend your elbows and that strap's going to come down toward the top of your head, maybe slightly to the back of your head. Low front ribs, draw in, tailbone draws down. Inhale, stretch your arms, back up. Synchronize the breath to the body's movements or body's movements to the breath. Exhale, let your elbows bend. Bring the strap down toward the top or the back of the head. Inhale as you press into your feet, reach all the way back up. Exhale, let your elbows bend. Bring the strap down. And then inhale as you reach your arms all the way back up. And exhale as you let your strap come forward, coming back down in front of the legs. Wider stance now. So we're coming into the pectoralis stretch. So sometimes this is called shoulder flossing. So maybe about a 2-foot stance to start, although you may end up going a little wider. So arms in front of the body, you're going to breathe in and stretch your strap up by the sides of your face, and you're going to exhale, start to go back. I can immediately tell my stance of my hands is not wide enough because I'm almost stuck, right? So take your arms back. See if you can avoid jutting the chest forward, but instead draw the low front ribs in toward the body, tailbone slightly down. And as you inhale, stretch your arms back up. And then as you exhale, just let your strap come down in front of the body. And then that same shoulder flossing. So inhale, let your arms rise up. So your strap might be a little loose there to begin, but as you exhale, you can let your arms go back. So I like to bend my elbows a little bit, take the tailbone, draw it slightly down, draw the two lowest front ribs toward one another, and then inhale as you rise up. Exhale as you come forward. And then one last time, just breathe in and let your arms sweep up, sideways, lift up out of the pelvis. Exhale, let your elbows slightly bend, take the strap back, open across your chest. Inhale as you rise up. Exhale as you come forward. So just gather the strap in one hand for a moment and let's just roll the shoulders out one at a time. Just roll one shoulder up toward the ear and just doing that just a few times, just rocking nice and fluid across your feet. Okay, we're going to do one more movement here with the strap that's movement orientated, and then we have one more that's more static, right? So you're going to take your hands about that original position. So maybe a foot, a little bit wider than a foot. You're going to root your feet and inhale, stretch your arms up and along the sides of your face. Take your tailbone and draw it straight down towards that space between the two heels, slight draw down. So we're just going to side bend with the strap between the hands. So as you exhale, you can tip your body a bit to the right. Inhale, feeling yourself pass through the center, and exhale, tipping your body slightly to the left. Inhale, coming through, and exhale, tipping right. Inhale, coming through, and exhale, tipping left. One more time each way. So inhale, rising to the center. Exhale, tipping right. Inhale, coming through center. And exhale, tipping over to the left. And then inhale, coming back up through the center. Exhale, bringing the strap forward and down in front of your body. Collect your strap in one hand, and again, just kind of sway it out across your feet, one shoulder roll at a time. We can hold so much tension around the chest, around the shoulders, in the neck, in the throat. Okay. All right. And so I'm going to turn my back to you for a moment. We're going to take the strap into the right hand. You're going to reach your right arm up by your ear. You're going to end up bending your right elbow so that the hand is about at C7, that little knob at the back of the neck, and the strap's draping down your back. Now your left arm is going to sweep out to the side, and you're going to turn your left thumb to point down towards the floor. Palm is facing back. So just kind of spread out through your fingers. You're going to roll your left shoulder blade into the spine. And as that's happening, let your left arm move back, bend the elbow, and then let the hand sweep up onto the strap. Now you may be able to get your hands together. I never have been able to, and still cannot to this day, right? So no need to push it, right? Some people are going to naturally be able to get their hands together. And for some people, you may always use the strap like I have, right? And that's just fine, right? So press into your feet and draw your low front ribs in. Feel the back of your head kind of press a bit into your right forearm. Gomukhasana arms. So this one is, we want to pay particular attention to the front left shoulder. With that internal rotation of the left shoulder, it's important to not push that position. because it can really irritate the shoulder. One last breath in, one last breath out. Release your left hand, stretch your right arm up, and sweep your right arm out to the side. You can just keep your arms down by your sides. You might be able to feel a little difference there in the right and left. My right arm feels almost longer. There's a much stronger energy sensation in my right arm. And we'll do that with the left. So just place the strap into the left hand, reach your left arm up, and then let your left elbow bend so that the hand comes to that C7, that little knob at the back of the neck. Sweep your right arm out away from your body and turn your right thumb down to point down toward the floor, in toward your right thigh. Take a breath in, and then as you're exhaling, start to roll your right shoulder blade in. Let your right arm sweep back, and then allow your right elbow to bend so that it catches hold of the strap. Or if you come close or connect on this side, that's fine. Let the strap go, right? Press into your feet and draw your low front ribs slightly together and feel the back of your head have a gentle press into your left forearm. Steady your gaze and then just feel your inhalation and your exhalation. So we're in what's called a static pose, a pose without much movement, right? We're not really moving the body, just in the pose, holding, and then yoking or creating union between the awareness of the mind and the flow of the breath. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Right, so let your right hand start to slide down the strap. Release the right arm, stretch the left arm up, and then allow your left arm to sweep out to the side. Bringing the strap down, just taking a second to notice the energy in the arms. Okay, now we're gonna allow the strap to just release out to the side. Okay, you can stay in mountain pose at the back short side of the mat. Place your hands together at your heart. Take a breath in and let it go out through the mouth with a sigh. Inhale, sweep your arms up and along the sides of your face. Let your prayer hands come together. Let them come through your heart. Bend your knees and just hinge your torso forward over your legs. Inhale, your hands can be on the floor. You can slide them up to your shins and just lift your spine halfway. Reach out long through the crown of your head. And as you're exhaling, slide your hands down. Relax your body into your legs. Inhale, begin to bend your knees and take a reverse swan dive. Sweep your arms out to the side. Let your arms sweep up and along the sides of your face. Prayer hands coming together down into your heart. Let's do that again. Breathe in, sweep your arms out to the side. Let your arms rise up long by the sides of your face. Prayer hands coming together through your heart as you bend your knees and hinge at your hips. Let your heart lead you forward. As you're coming down, hands on the earth, or maybe hands coming to your shins. Inhale, press into the earth or the shins. Lift your belly, half lift. Reach out long through the crown of your head. Exhale, slide your hands down. Relax your head, fold into your legs. Inhale, begin to bend your knees. Sweep your arms out to the side. Let your body rise all the way up. Prayer hands coming together and down into your heart. One last time. Breathe in, sweep your arms out and up. Prayer hands coming together and through your heart as you hinge out over your hips. Hands coming down to the floor of the shins. Inhale, lift the belly, reach out nice and long through your spine. Exhale as you slide your hands down and little fold into your legs. Breathing in, bend your knees, sweep your arms out and up. Stretch all the way up with the fingers. Prayer hands coming together and into your heart. All right, so we're going to just take a easy transition into warrior two. So you can step out to face the long side of your mat and just step across your blanket. We're going to do a low lunge so that blanket can stay where it is. You're going to take your feet wide on your mat. Okay, so we're going to start by turning the left toes to face the back short side of the mat. Okay, we're going to allow the left knee to bend so that it lands over the ankle. We're going to take some warrior two triangle movement. So hips over the shoulders. You're going to breathe in and let your arms sweep out to parallel the floor. So here's your breath in. As you're exhaling, you're going to start to hinge toward that left leg, and maybe the left leg starts to come straight, and the hand can come down to the shin bone as your right arm sweeps up. Inhale, warrior two. So allow your left knee to bend, allow your arms to come out and parallel the floor. As you're exhaling, hinge out over that left leg. Let your right arm sweep up, turn your right palm open to whatever's in front of you. And then again, just breathing in, let your left knee bend, stretch out through your arms. And as you're exhaling, hinging out over your left leg as your right arm sweeps up. Inhale as you find warrior two. So let your left knee bend, let your arms reach out, hold there in warrior two. We're going to flip up the left palm to face the sky. Right hand's going to land on your right thigh. You're just going to take a reverse warrior for a moment, right? So you'll feel your right side of your body contract a bit. Left knee reaching toward the back short side of the mat. Left rib case open between the ribs, the intercostal muscles. Take the breath in. Shoulders over hips. Straighten your left knee. Swivel your toes. You can relax your arms if you want for a moment. Turn your left toes to face the long side of the mat and turn your right toes to face the front short side of your mat. Warrior two. So allow your right knee to bend so it comes over the ankle, and then sweep your arms out from your heart. Here's our inhalation. As you're exhaling, hinge out over that front right leg. Let your right hand come down. Left arm can come up to 12 o'clock. Inhale as you let your left knee, or right knee rather, bend. Warrior two position. Exhale as you're hinging out over your right leg. Right hand coming down. Left arm sweeping up. One more time. Inhale as you rise up. Warrior two. And exhale as you hinge out over your right leg. Right hand landing on the shins, left arm reaching up. And as you're breathing in, let your right knee bend. Come back into warrior two. Flip up your right palm. Let your left hand land on your left thigh and bring your body into reverse warrior. So right knee's going to reach forward. Right arm's going to reach back. Musculature between the ribs on the right side open. Deep inhale. Okay, deep exhale, and then let your next breath in bring you back to warrior two. Now from this warrior two, we're actually going to cartwheel the arms around. We're going to turn to face the front short side of the mat. So if your blacks are there, you might be able to easily grab them or just bring your hands all the way down. Spin off your back heel and lower your back left knee down to the floor. Low lunge position. So before we really settle in here, maybe just a few low lunge half split pulses. So hands on the blocks or hands on the floor. So just breathe in here, low lunge. And exhale, send the hips back, rock onto the right heel, spread the toes on the right foot. Inhale, let your right foot come down. Feel your tailbone slightly draw down. Just think about that slight draw down like you do in mountain pose. So just same thing here. And then as you exhale, move your hips back. Spread your right toes. And then inhale, low lunge for a hold. Now you can keep your hands on the blocks. I'm going to have you slide your hands up to your front right thigh. We're going to take a stretch for the deltoid region. So you're going to take your right arm, lift your right arm up and cross it like over your chest. So your right arm lifts up and it's almost like your right fingertips are reaching out to the left. Now your left hand is just going to catch hold of that space right above your right elbow. And then you're going to draw the right arm in toward the chest. And your right shoulder blade is going to draw away from your spine. So you open up that space between the spine and the inner border of the right shoulder blade. Feel yourself open up through the back of the deltoid. So the deltoid's kind of like a shoulder pad muscle that comes down and inserts down on your humerus, your upper arm bone. Take a breath in and a breath out. Okay, and then we're just gonna let the hands come down. You can actually bring your hands to the inside of the right foot, lean to your left hand, left knee, and just step the right foot back. Come to all fours. Synchronizing cat cow, right? So inhale, release your belly, lift your heart. Exhale, press your hands, take your tailbone under. Inhale, release your belly, lift your heart. Exhale, press your hands, take your tailbone under. Okay, so you can walk your hands to the right, lean to the right, step your left foot forward. And so catch hold if you're of your blocks if you like using them. And then we're just gonna take the breath in, let the hips go down toward the floor, low lunge position. And then as you're exhaling, shift your hips back and rock onto your left heel and intentionally feel space between the toes on the left foot. And then inhale, send your hips forward again, let your left foot meet the earth, tailbone slightly drawing down. Exhale, pressing your hips back, rocking onto your left heel, spreading the toes of the left foot. Inhale, plant the left foot. Now we're going to hold here in the low lunge. So just emphasize that slight drawdown of the tailbone and that slight drawing in of the low front ribs. Slide your hands up to your front left thigh. Now we're going to take the left arm, lift it up, and draw the left arm across the chest. Right hand is going to connect to the tricep region on the left arm. So right above that left elbow. Right hand grounds into the left arm, and then draw the left arm into the chest. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, releasing your hands, letting your hands come down. They can come to the inside of the left foot, lean to the right, and step your left foot back. So come to your hands. We'll do 2 more rounds of cat cow. So just release your belly, lift your heart. Exhale, press into your hands. Take your tailbone under, arc and round your back body. Inhale, release your belly, lift up through your heart. Feel your exhalation, ground your hands to the earth. Take your tailbone under, round through the line of your spine. And inhale, coming to neutral. Okay, so a couple options here. We're gonna take eagle arms, and you can either sit directly down onto your heels. Another option is to take the bolster between the pelvis and the heels. That's going to give you a little height and be less intense on the knees. And the third option is to come around to that simple cross leg position. So choose your variation that works best for your ankles, your knees, your spine. And then once you're there, stretch your arms out from your heart. We're going to cross the right arm on top, so the arms are like an X out in front of the chest. You start to wrap the arms around the heart. And you can stay here with your arms in this position, wrapped around the heart. You can also wind your forearms around one another. And some will be able to wind the forearms, the wrist, and the hands. Okay, Garudasana arms. So there's a very slight lift up of the elbows. It's very slight, right? So just be mindful of your shoulders. Take your sitting bones and ground down into the earth and take your chin slightly in toward your chest. And then yoke or unite the awareness of your mind to the flow of your breath. Deep inhalation. Deep exhalation. Deep breath in. And as you're exhaling, start to very slowly unwind your hands, your wrists, your forearms. Let your hands come down to your lap. Turn your palms to face up toward the sky. Relax your shoulders and just take a deep inhalation, deep exhalation. Reach your arms back out, straight out in front of your heart. Garudasana, second side. Left arm crossing on top. Continue to cross until your arms are wound around your heart. You can stay here, hands connecting to opposite shoulder region. You can bring your forearms wound around one another, or maybe take your wrist and your hands and also wind them around one another. Take your sitting bones down to the earth, low front ribs in. Draw your chin in and reach up through the crown of your head as you open up the space at the back of the heart, uniting the focus of your mind to the flow of your breath, allowing yourself to connect to the fullness of this very moment. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Deep breath in. And on your next exhale, a mindful and slow release of your hands and wrists, your forearms and your elbows. Let the backs of your hands come down to your legs, to your lap. Turn your palms to face up to the sky. Relax your shoulders. Take a breath in and a breath out. So we're shifting all the way down to your seat if you're not there already. So your bolster that you were using could come out to the side. And if you're using a blanket, you might fold it in half, maybe even one or two times. And then you're going to come to sit on the edge of your blanket support. So you're going to take the left leg straight out and you're going to allow your right knee to bend. Some people are going to be able to hook the sole of their right foot to the inner left thigh, and some people are going to have the arch of their right foot around the inner left knee. It's like a perfect spot for your foot. So either way works. Press through your left heel, just sit up nice and tall. Take a breath in. We're going to do a little bit of wave like motion here just to synchronize the body's movements to the breath. So inhale, sit up nice and tall. And as you exhale, start to hinge out over your left leg. So there's just this sensation of bowing in, right? And then as you're breathing in, and press down into your fingerprints and just feel your heart lift. So you might be still a little bit hinging forward, but just not as deeply. And then as you exhale, let your body fold in. As you're breathing in, a bit of a rise up, almost like half lift. As you're exhaling, hinging in. So breathing in, lift your heart. And as you exhale, fold in. Holding now in that forward fold or in that lift of the spine, that half lift feel, right? So find a good space to hold for a moment. Wherever you are, let your gaze go down at the floor. That's going to create a settling action for the mind. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. right, last inhale. Feel the breath, the inhalation across the back ribs. You're breathing into the back of your lungs. Last exhale. Breathing in and rising on up. And then swapping out the legs by leaning into the hands, shifting the right leg out and bending the left knee. So left foot to the inner right thigh or the sole of the foot right around the inner right knee. Sit up nice and tall, breathe in. And as you exhale, begin to wave the spine forward. And then as you're breathing in, just pressing into your fingerprints, just a little bit of a lift of your heart. As your exhale, hinging in toward your right leg. Inhale as you let your belly lift, reach through the heart just a bit, almost like your sternum's reaching toward your right big toe. And then as you're exhaling, just hinging the body forward. Two more times. Inhale, lifting through the belly, lifting through the sternum. Exhale as you're bowing in. Inhale as you lift through your belly, lift through your heart. Exhale as you fold in. Now you're going to find a place to pause, right? So it could be in that deeper forward fold, could be slight elevation up of the spine, almost like that half lift feeling in the spine. And then you just want to sink into the breath. And if it's helpful for you, you might close your eyes, right? So closing the eyes can almost help in a way to kind of seal off the sensory organs from the external world and to cultivate a greater connection to the internal world. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. One more round of breath in. And a breath out. As you're inhaling, slowly rising up. Let some weight go back into your hands. You can bend your knees and point your knees to the sky. Take your feet a little wide and then just sway your knees from side to side. Okay. All right. So we're going to set up for a restorative pose now. So with your blanket, if you want to continue to use your blanket, you might unfold it back out to its original shape, or you could just get rid of it altogether. It's up to you. So I like to sit on the blanket because I find feel good on my back, just decreases the back bend just a bit. You're going to take your block on its lowest side, and then you can take your bolster or a big pillow. This would create just some sort of ramp. So use a bolster and a block, or use two pillows kind of crossed on one another so that you have a ramp for your spine. And we're going to stay here for a few minutes. So if you feel like you're going to get cold, you could take an extra blanket with you so you could cover your body. So we're going to take the pelvis down to the floor. Doesn't necessarily have to connect to the bolster. If you want a little space there, that decreases the amount of back bend that you get. Okay. And then you're going to come down with your spine. Okay. And then you're going to let your head come on down. You're going to let your arms extend out. And you're going to find a position for your legs that works well for you. So it could be extended out, it could be knees pointing up, it could be feet together, knees opening out. So a few things, right? Such a good Heart opener and good stretch for the chest muscles. Sometimes maybe too much opening across the chest, right? So if the chest muscles are tight from computer work or, different types of weightlifting will make the chest muscles tight. Also, any kind of surgery up in the chest region will make it harder to do this. So you can always prop your arms up a little higher. Use extra blankets, use extra pillows, give a little bit of height. Another option is to you can place your hands to your belly, kind of tuck your elbows into the sides, or kind of lay your arms across your body, your like lower rib area. Okay. And you can take that, and that's going to just bring you in really close to your body, and it's going to decrease the stretch across your chest. So, all of those options are great. As you arrive in the place that feels the most comfortable to you, let your eyes softly close. Noticing the feeling of the breath. In yoga and in Ayurveda, we like to talk a lot about the gunas. And the word guna is an adjective, right? It's a quality, it's a word that you can use to describe your experience of something. And so you might think about how it feels to breathe and what qualities are present currently in the breath. Is it easy to breathe deep? Does the breath feel shallow or constricted? Does the breath feel a little bit choppy or jagged? Or is there a smoothness to the inhale and exhale, a fluidity to the inhale and exhale? Notice how your breath feels for you in this moment. Taking about one more minute just to breathe here. start to bring a little bit of movement back into your hands and back into your feet. And you can let your knees begin to bend so that your feet come flat. Right. So what I like to do is take my hips and just kind of slide my hips over to the right, a decent amount, maybe 6 inches or so, and then start to let my knees shift over to the left and then roll to the left side of the body, but still supported by the bolster. Just kind of stack your knees in this side lying child's position. Just rest here for a minute. Sometimes this is called the Shavasana B. So just give yourself a minute here. Last breath in and last breath out. All right, and then pressing down. I'm just coming up to your seat. You can just take your legs back to simple cross leg. And let your hands come together at your heart and let your thumbs touch your heart. When you're breathing in and breathing out, just see if you can feel your breath right beneath your thumb. The light within me sees and bows to that same light that exists within you. Namaste.